Oh.
Hi there, everyone. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves for
Use the
posterity?
name.
Who are you?
I'm
First of all,
the questioning person.
the questioning
What's her
person.
name? Questioning person.
Lucky Charms.
There you go. Hi, I'm Jalapeno.
I'm Squid.
And I'm ZoeBoe.
Woo!
And this is Counselor Panel.
This is
Yay!
a game show.
I had to bring a mic for like you ever brought it.
What has Camp Kesem meant to you?
Do you want our answers to be in the form of a question?
No, just a statement and an answer to
It's
the
not
question.
Jeopardy.
Okay. So what is the question again?
What has Camp Kesem meant to you?
Okay, so Camp Kesem is my life because I was a camper. Everybody here knows that, but it has been a part of my life since 2012, and it is my passion.
So it means a lot.
It was really nice to find people, like counselors, people to either relate to or do this with. And it was really nice to help out the kiddos that are going through what I've been through, because I did not know about this when I was younger. I wish I did. So I really love Camp Kesem.
I was also a camper. I've been a part of Camp Kesem at Ball State since it started. And it was a big impact on my life. I definitely would not be where I am today without it.
What are some things you would share with someone that doesn't know anything about Camp Kesem?
It's magic. It really is. It forms the best bonds. It forms long-time friendships, and it makes an impact on the kids. It really does. So.
It's the best week of the summer or the best week of the year, and the holiday, you said. You really summed it up a lot. So.
It's something that we all look forward to every moment of every day. We're looking forward to camp and going back and seeing everyone. And I was gonna say something else. I don't remember. I don't remember what I was gonna say. So yeah.
What's the story of your guys' Kesem names?
Pass.
I don't remember.
Skip.
In sixth grade, it's so really weird and specific, but in sixth grade, I had this substitute teacher that subbed a lot in my sixth grade class, and he started calling me Sid the Squid because my real name is Sydney, and so it went from that to like Squidney and Sid the Squid, and it went from like middle school to high school. By the end of high school, I hated it, but then when I got here and with Kesem, I was like, I already have a nickname, so I'm just gonna do that. And I love it now, so.
When I was in sixth grade as well, that's funny. I was in band class. I play the oboe, and my real name is Zoe. And then one of my friends from the flute section, she just turns to me one day randomly. I don't think I'd ever spoken to her at all in my entire life. And she turns to me, she's like, I've got an amazing nickname for you. And I was like, okay. And she was like, ZoeBoe. And I was like, why? And she was like, Zoe, you play the oboe. ZoeBoe. And she just smashed them together. And I was like, that's kind of unique, you know? And I started telling like some of my friends that, some of my family that, and it stuck. And it's literally, even my college friends, like to this day, like still use it. And so it just stuck. And I was like, well, my nickname is ZoeBoe, so I might as well just go with that. So.
Nice.
So for mine, I came up with it as a camper. I don't remember the reasoning behind it. So it was a very long time.
Like spicy. What about you,
Lucky Charm?
Oh, me? Why am I named Lucky Charms? It is my favorite cereal, of course. Marshmallow deliciousness and boring regular cereal come together to form a delicious snack.
I'm gonna stop recording.
What have you learned about leadership at Kesem?
Pass. No.
One of them.
Well, what I have learned about leadership, I was on core board last year, so it was important for us to figure out how to lead the rest of the group, especially in a challenging year because we had, like, some of us had to go virtual halfway through the year, especially me, for certain reasons. But I lost my train of thought. I'll come back to it.
Okay. During like physical camp and like being a counselor, leadership was like trying to find that halfway point between being a leader / counselor and like a friend to the kids. And so it was like not being bossy, like, hey, go do this, and it was like talking to them and like suggesting things and being a leader in that way. I don't really know how else to explain it, but that like just being with the kids like makes you a leader, like stepping up, especially if like something goes wrong or if something's happening, like stepping up and being a leader.
For me, I have learned and seen for myself how much all the leaders and counselors overall care for the kids. Everything they do is for the kids. It's for the well-being of the kids, and that's our main goal, is to help the kids. And you don't always find people who are like, oh, we're doing this for the good of the kids, or oh, they're not always like that. And so that was always a thing I saw, even from when I began. All the counselors always cared for the kids and took the kids into account first. So.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Do you remember what you were saying?
No, I don't. But I guess like my experience with leadership through KESM has been by the examples that others have set, like Big Mac and Bubbles. They were huge roles to fill. And Tank was my first, what's the word? It's like the head counselor for the unit.
Mm-hmm.
He was in charge of the Orange Monkeys my first year, and he definitely, unit leader, that's right. He served the role very well and was pretty inspiring. So.
All right. Does our lovely audience at home have any questions for us?
Any super personal questions?
Yeah, just way too
about
personal,
camp?
just uncomfortable.
No, not like like personal questions about camp, like nothing that's like.
What kind of
super broad.
sandwich do you eat at 2 in the morning?
You know?
Or is there anything like you guys
Ham
want to
and
know in
Swiss or
general,
pickle?
just
Yeah.
you're curious about, with especially with in-person camp?
Yeah, I don't have some.
Yeah, hopefully we have it.
No one? Nobody?
No questions?
No questions?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to know.
Do you guys want a little light?
Elephant.
Oh, I know there's like great stories about camp, throughout the whole week, it's kind of probably really hard to choose, like, which one is your favorite.
The whole week is a story.
That is true.
You could write a book about it.
If you had to choose, what's your favorite thing about in-person camp?
In-person camp.
Or just
I
camp?
can start if you want.
Go for it.
Okay. For me, my favorite part is seeing how much the kids grow over the week. It's literally just 1 week. And when I went to camp as camper for the first time ever, before I was I kind of just shut down. Me and my brother both shut down. And we really weren't feeling it. We weren't sure about it. And by the time we got home from camp, it was just 1 week. And my mom said we were completely different kids. We were much more outgoing. We had made friends, and like we didn't see that as much with our at-home schools. Just seeing how much the kids get out of their shell, and you can see more and more about them. That's so cool to see in person, because they really like make good connections there and become these wonderful kids that are just so happy at that point in time. So That's my favorite part.
I could say all of camp. I will say that. Also, kind of what she's going on with the kids. I like the relationships that they make, along with being social and being outgoing and stuff. The relationships they make within the other campers. And then on a very specific note, I really love hearing all the little kids' one-liners. The one-liners are nothing you can beat, because we will all get at the end of the night when we do our like counselor meeting, while all the campers are asleep, like we'll just go through all the funny stuff that happened and the one-liners, and it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Very
Lucky, what about you? I have two different experiences.
Well, you know, I was kids laughing, just the kids running around being kids, like they're supposed to be. And I really like that Camp Kesem gives the children going through a tough time an opportunity to do that, just be kids and feel the wind in their hair and just laugh and be goofy, and then, you know, have a place where they feel like they belong and have a community.
I'd say my favorite story as a counselor would be my first year as Kesem Ball State counselor. Messy Olympics was probably the best part of the week, and I would say that for a camper as well. Like, I always look forward to Messy Olympics, but as a camper, I'd say the best part of the week was the end, because there was just a feeling of bonding. Like, we had bonded so hard throughout the week, and just saying goodbye was hard.
Can you explain to our two gorgeous ladies what Messy Olympics is?
Yes, so Messy Olympics is a well, I'm trying to find the best word for how chaotic it is.
It's like, well, how it started out was like stations, and
starts
so
at
at one
stations.
station we had a banner that we put like balls and
Yeah.
paint and throw them at
And it
the,
says cancer sucks.
yeah, cancer
Okay.
sucks. There's another one where we like had Q-tips and paint, we could paint counselors or whatever.
Yeah.
There's one with water and
Yeah.
sponges, and we did like over under
Yeah.
thing.
We were all in like bad clothes, you know, like clothes you don't mind getting messy in, because you don't want to ruin your favorite shirt. You really don't.
Yeah, messy twister. There was messy
Yeah.
twister.
We made a counselor into Sunday. Like, we
Counselor
just poured
Sunday.
syrup,
Yeah.
poured all sprinkles and whipped cream. It was cherry on
That sounds
top.
so sticky.
There was very
It's disgusting.
It was
There
kind of
was
disgusting.
counselors with like big water guns and things that would go around and just like splash people. And then by the end, everybody got like this big bottle of paint, and we all just were going at it like,
Yeah, we just
was
started
like
painting each
100
other.
people were just like throwing paint
Yeah,
at each other. It's so
basically.
bad.
And it seems like the littlest kids are the most vicious about it, because they will go after all the counselors and make sure you get paint on you at
Especially
all
if you're
times.
new. You're a target if you're new.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the stations, and then once everybody does the stations, it kind of just becomes a free for all. Get everybody as messy as possible.
And then to top it all off, just at the end, we all come in for this huge cinnamon roll hug.
Yes.
All
So
messy.
fun.
It's really gross, and it's also like super
Because we're all
kind of hot
slimy
out.
with paint.
But it's so fun.
I got paint in my eye twice.
Then we go to the lake and just like jump in the lake. It's
Yes.
we're very
Absolutely
messy.
destroy the local water supply.
The fish are all dead.
Really bad,
Probably.
You can find sprinkles in your hair like a week
Oh.
later.
Oh, yeah,
Sprinkles.
Glitter.
Kesem actually isn't
Glitter
free
too.
because the fish pay for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for our
wait.
lovely panel.
Sorry,
Great
I
job.
have one
We
more
have
question.
more questions. Come on, dude.
Just because I don't think at any point in our training do we ever talk about it, can someone explain empowerment and what that is?
Ooh.
That's
You guys have both been.
I know
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Empowerment is a moment at camp where it gets somewhat serious.
It's
you know.
it's the only time during camp when we specifically talk about cancer. Like, we have the option to talk about it during cabin chat, but it is a set time where everyone has the chance to share their story.
We all get into a big circle and we do this rain activity where we, someone goes around, and as it goes around, they ripple and do like patting on the legs or snapping and stuff. And it's supposed to mimic rain, and it gets like heavy rain and then it calms down again. I think that's another favorite part of mine is it really does calm me down. You really gotta, everyone's calm and it's not a time to like play around. It's not a, exactly, it's not a fun time. It's more of a like emotional time.
And very, very emotional.
It really
Very,
sets the mood
like
when
I
you-
cry every time. Like
Just bring your own box of Kleenex.
yeah, it's one of those things where some people, we end up having yarn. We tie one around our wrist, and when we have the yarn, we talk. I remember one year, because then we pass it on, and it's connecting all of us together, and we wrap it around. I remember one year I was like telling my brother and I's story, and I just kept wrapping it. I didn't realize I was doing it until I was like, oh, that's a lot of string, like, and it just gets really emotional, especially like some people could just pass it on, like especially for people who haven't really exactly gone through it, or people who are not really comfortable with it, and that's completely okay, it's completely accepted. But some people, they tell their stories, and yeah, that's when it gets really, really emotional, because people telling their stories, and then also the feeling of like, of course, like sadness, but also like, I understand sort of thing. And that's what really, that's why it's called empowerment. It empowers us to realize like, we're all in this together, we're all a big family, and we're all connected, hence the string.
I think it's an integral part of the Kesem magic, for sure.
It really is.
To transition from the really, really like sad or emotional part of it to, we have like a dance party later in the day, but to transition, we got in like two big circles because there's so many kids, so many people, and we sit and we face outwards so we can't see each other, and a few people go in the middle, and it's like, touch someone who made you smile this week, and you just go like tap them on the shoulder, and touch someone who, I don't even know.
There's a lot of
Yeah.
problems, but
And
Yeah,
so-
someone who makes you smile or
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's one year we had plates on our back, and people would take paint and put their thumbprint on the plate so that we can keep it. And all the people that have been touched by us that like really enjoy our presence or anything like that, it's very a good feeling, especially as a camper who often feels alone in their cancer journey. It's a really good feeling to look back on those plates and be like, these people understand what I'm going through, and that's very important. So.
And empowerment is still something we do at virtual camp because it is such an integral part of it. Obviously, it's a little different on Zoom, but I think it's still just as impactful when we had it last year. So, but just so you know that we definitely will have that. That's not just an in-person thing. Cool.
All right.
Well, thanks for sharing, guys.
do you guys have any more questions? Do.
You, any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I don't know why I said that like in a slightly British accent.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you to our lovely panel today. Great job, everybody.
Yeah, thank you
Thanks
for
for
sharing.
Okay, I'm gonna stop this recording. These all have to go on YouTube, so.
You guys